morning, but I cannot just keep it any longer. I have to force myself to come out to discuss this continuous police brutality. And this is expected. This is expected. Not that we are blaming our people for what happened, but this is expected because of the facts of our trajectory. We failed to have reforms. We allowed an individual to try to entrench himself. It's just fortunate. It's just fortunate that he's surrounded in one way, surrounded by incompetent people, and he himself is completely incompetent. He can't entrench himself fully yet. If we look at the corruption index published by Gambia Participate, that tells you a lot. We can read a lot through that. If any country's corruption index is featured in that manner, tells you that country technically is a failed state. If corruption and the police were highlighted, agriculture was highlighted, people's perceptions of corruption was highlighted, and everything else, and the government, scored very poorly. But again, when a country that came through a dictatorship, supposed to have gone through a transition, failed to go through that transition, the country will always be at the risk of destabilization. Because the reason why it failed to go through transition properly is because of the lack of political will. Where change happened, people that took part of that change, the population that was affected, that makes sure that they allowed or they fight and make sure they change the leader they had before for another leader, those people are willing to see change. But when a government comes in and it gets captured, they will ensure there will be no change, but there will be continuity, and that continuity we see now. And we have seen the worst side of the continuity. For people that will say, oh, Barrow have not killed, as if we elect governments for them to kill us. Or Barrow have done this, as if we elect government not to do stuff. But in the worst is not to understand that it goes through a process. Jammeh came illegally. Jammeh have to use illegal means to continue to legitimize himself. This is why dictatorship is always brutal. Barrow came through a ballot box that where Gambians put him there democratically. He should have used the instruments of democratization, to entrench that democracy, make sure we have a successful transition. The reason Barrow refused, because he is not interested in what benefits the Gambian people. He's interested in what benefits him and the people that have captured him. That would, permit him to keep him. And these are the same people that have captured the First Republic, and they have captured the dictatorship, and now they have captured Barrow. Gambians, we have to realize this. We cannot just go and talk about the symptoms. Yes, the symptoms are so serious, but we have to diagnose the problem. Until we are seriously politically engaged, and that doesn't go for Barrow alone, for all political parties or all political interests, starting to put the Gambia first, interest of Gambian first. If not, we will not have change. In putting Gambia first, the interest of Gambian first is to make sure we revolutionize our government and bring about the social reforms and institutional reforms in order. We keep on talking about institutional reforms, we forget about the social reforms. The level of poverty in the country, the economic, so-called economic program, or even the lack of it right now, because we don't hear this government talk about an economic program. What we have seen, not capitalism, is criminalism. We have seen, read from the Republic and others of what is happening in that country. It's completely hijacked for the few. And this will be the result of it. We have understood from the beginning that this government and Barrow doesn't respect the rule of law. The 4 commissions he established, or they established, look at it now. It's all unraveling. It's all constituted corruptly and been implemented corruptly. To the TRRC itself, no recommendations have been adopted because they don't want the reforms, because they are the one affected if reforms would have happened. All the other commissions he constituted have not been dealt with. People are not punished for crimes they commit, but people are promoted, and the culture of loyalty, that is what's been advanced rather than the competency and patriotism. It's about loyalty to Barrow. You can go out there, criticize Barrow, and you turn out to join Barrow and be perceived as loyal, and you benefit. In the police institutions, on all these institutions now, for 2 ministers, finance, trade, the governor of central bank, government, the board of directors for a bank owned by the government then, for all of them to look the other way, and this huge crime to be committed, is because of loyalty to Barrow. But it's because of the loyalty to the enterprise itself. They have their cut from all this what happened. For several ministries, the interior, energy, all the oversight bodies, Pura and others, to take part in the Russian oil scandal, is because of the State House is part of it. Then what have they established for us is a criminal cartel rather than a government. Now, if you have a criminal cartel, you need an enforcement body. All criminal cartels have enforcement body. That's why our police have turned out to be that enforcement body. Let's just talk about the culture of corruption in the police. I know people will jump on to talk about the police at the checkpoints. No, those are victims of the crime of the culture of corruption. I know people will talk about the low-level cases, that you have a case at the police and it will not be solved, or they will expect something out of, doing their duty. I know those hardy things will come to mind. But for the president to handpick his brother-in-law from the interior, for the immigration department to head the police, tells you a lot. Countries, that's where you have entrenched dictatorship. This is what happened. The Inspector General, the army commanders, all these heads are related to the cabal. To take the most corrupt IGP, who turned out, the time of Jammeh coming to power, he was struggling for his daily, to feed his family daily. To turn out to be an IGP and become a millionaire. Where do you think he was feeding, what fed his wealth, if not part of a criminal cartel? To be the interior minister. But who is head of that criminal cartel is Adama Barrow. These drug cartels running around, and they are all associated. The recent syndicate, economic syndicate, the Chinese and other nationals, I said it, nothing will come out of it. They got tapped for 300,000 each and left to go. Others will come in. Because of the person in charge, Ibrahim Ajadi, he is the logistics for the criminal cartel and directly linked to the First Lady. The Russian cartel, Russian oil cartel, he was the one laundering the money. And we wonder why our dollar is trouble. Laundering the money to Dubai. He was the one who organized the Chinese cartel. I call them Chinese, the foreigners, on the cybercrime syndicate. He rented the apartments, he did everything for them. To the extent of renting the property owned by our national security advisor. That tells you a lot. What do we have? We have business people in the services, criminal cartel in the services, not people of knowledge, of people of sincerity, people who are patriotic to serve our nation. This is why they will serve that loyalty to Barrow, passive loyalty to Barrow. They will be the first people to turn against Barrow if anything would have happened. Or they will be away from it if any serious danger have approached. They will never put their life down for Barrow. Then they are not loyal to Barrow. For not only that, that same Ibrahim was in charge of the logistics for the Navy personnel that were working with the drug cartel. His name will never appear in any investigations because he will be served. That's why anything he involved in, nothing will come out of it. It all be brushed under the carpet. This is what we have. The culture of corruption. The culture of corruption. We have within the police force very smart, intelligent, dedicated service personnel. But the culture of corruption has made it very difficult for most of them to deliver their services work. The culture of corruption that impact on the livelihood of Gambians, from GRA, making billions out of our income that could have gone to alleviate poverty, that could have gone to be invested in the productive sector to create jobs and everything else. To reform our educational institutions to make sure students who leave colleges, high schools or other things and get be productive in the service economies. But not. They are protected. That culture of corruption, to the point of some of these officers reduce their age fraudulently and known to the command so that they will not retire. Because they are not competent. They are not sure of their experience and education that if they leave the police, what they would be. This is the reason. They are forging their date of birth in cahoot with the command. The command knows this because they want to keep them in and keep them in strategic positions because they are loyal. Because the IGP is part of the farm, is part of the family now, Barrow's family. They are loyal. This is how they're protecting themselves. You have very smart, educated officers. Some of them will be frustrated and leave and go and work for the UN and other places. Or they will keep their head down as much as possible, just for the opportunity to go out and work for the UN and other services. And with all the experiences, energy they have, youthfulness they have and everything will be lost for us. But they will keep these people within in order to serve the criminal cartel. We are living in a day and age. Respecting legal terms, we keep on using allegedly. But in these cases, we are even qualified not to say allegedly because we have the evidence from social media. This is why they even targeting now people going around. Yes, most of them are not journalists. But now the term for journalism have changed. These are citizen operational journalists. They are capturing evidences. They don't want them to capture that evidence. Now they are even assaulting them and arresting them. We have the evidence on social media now. Accountability is also. Now they are covering their faces to arrest people, which is illegal. It's illegal. They are not dealing with terrorists. There's no measure. That measure is not legal to be used on citizens. We understand operational expediency where we require probably if we have threat of terrorism and we have our service people to go and do those jobs, they might take certain measures, mechanism in place to protect their identity. But not when citizens go out there for civil protest. We have police, covering up their faces and this thing because they are ready to do bad. That's lack of transparency. They are ready to inflict pain on Gambian citizens. They are ready to brutalize Gambian citizens. They are ready to kill Gambian citizens. It's not accidental. It's not accidental. We have evidences, latest evidences from the Gala processes, for the going to the court proceedings. We have seen the violence meant to our citizens, especially the youths and women. We have seen the case of the Auditor General forcefully be removed. The police with combat gears and everything. When that order is illegal, what they were doing that day is illegal. They were trespassing. No crime was committed for the police to involve. This is why no suspicion of a crime even was involved. Police can only arrest you when they suspect a crime been committed. If they want help for investigation, they invite you. They don't summon you. Because you have your right to remain silent. You have a right not to implicate yourself. The only time you arrest someone when you have evidence or you have great suspicion that they have about to commit a crime or committed a crime. But they don't follow the rule of law. They don't follow the rule of law. And the recruitment of 1,000 soldiers, over 1,000 police officers, we said it. It was not for operational competency. It was not to secure the public or anything else. It's for one thing. Just as we have seen the dictator did that before 2026 elections, he went and almost recruited a battalion. And we know who they were made of. And these young people who are technically part of the victim of crimes themselves. Yes, some of them are perpetrating the crime, but they are victims of crime. I'll tell you one thing. Part of my consciousness, the reason after serving 5 years in the Gambia Army in the First Republic, I forced to be discharged. I forced to be discharged to blow the whistle. Because I was with the full knowledge that it was any time from then on that country will be destabilized and likely the army will go to take over. And knowing that the authorities, the politicians in charge, we are not listening, but they are trying to cover for themselves. Trying to cover up for themselves. I went on to refuse to serve. I said, my consent, my consent, my human rights, freedom of conscience I exercise. I'm not going to serve because when I sign in to serve my country, but this is a regime. I am not here to serve a regime. None of the ministers, family members, they hold dearly, were serving the army or these areas. None of these, people that we term as our elite, we are serving there. They have their nephews, because at that time we don't have female serving officers. They have their nephews and all the extended families or people from their constituencies. They took in and put them in the services without a future, to be trained technically as hired killers. After 2 years serving, regardless of what rank you are, if you are smart, you are intelligent, you can do damage to any to any installation, because you were trained enough to be able to do damage. If you have the leadership skills, if you have the charisma, you can take along a sizable number to support you to take over any installation in the country. Now, if you double this, if you triple it, if you go on multiplying these numbers of highly intelligent youths, because most of them went to the army because they want a job. They want to serve their country. They didn't go there to be criminals or anything else. I went there because I liked the army as a pathway to my development. To my development. It was not for the salary or anything. I was making money far more. How much, if I dare even say the salaries I left in the army, nobody would believe it. I mean, most young people wouldn't believe it. It was not for the salary. But most of the people around there, it's because of them. There were no jobs. And they created an army just for them to be an effective fighting force, to defend an elite that was robbing them. Where did it end up? Where did it end up? You expect those people, you train them to have all this ability? You gave them the weapons and everything else they need? You have not used them, to be progressive, to give them a future, and so that they will be more patriotic and so on. What do you think? Especially mixed with politicians interfering with the operations, not duties. They took over. And what did we find out? When people told Jawara that, apart from you, we don't know who is going to run our country. And non-entity came up and took the country for 22 years. Someone they termed a non-entity, sorry. Someone they termed non-entity because that's what they thought he was. They thought he was stupid. He was more intelligent than them. Probably his background and other opportunities he didn't have. He was more intelligent than them. And he have proved it for 22 years. With his brutality, what he did is ours. This is what they're doing with our youths. The thousands of officers. I saw some people say, oh, thank you, they're creating jobs. Why do you create jobs for $6,000 a people? When the productive sector is there, foreigners are coming to take it. I'm not blaming foreigners. When all these young men can be engineers, they can be anything. Because most of them have the intelligence. Others have the potential to do something else. I'm not saying that all of them to be academics. Most of them would have done better in trades and other things. When we recruit police officers, we want to make sure they are dignified, they are trained professionally, and they will serve the public. And they can progress from that service or whenever they leave that service to be the citizens they will be proud of. But not what we saw in the First Republic being continued right now. Not what we saw in the Republic, mistakes we saw in the First Republic, and entrenched in the dictatorship, and now we continue right now. Thinking that these people will serve you. Yes, they will serve you for a time, but everything will turn up to you. May ECOMOG stay a little bit longer. And it does not mean that with ECOMOG present, nothing will happen. No. But at least it will give it a grace period. No, little bit more. Their departure will be the end for a government like this. And this is not a threat. I'm analyzing these realities. We all saw what happened when the Confederates failed. How many years did it take? And do you know how many times people have planned to overthrow before 1994? How many times? And those people, you'll be surprised who they were. People who were perceived to be loyal, promoted, decorated. But those have a lot to lose. That's why junior officers will come over that would know that they are given the skills to overnight to lead their country. This is what happens when you develop this sort of poor institutions, thinking that they are there to protect you. We've seen the evidence. The former IGP, who is Interior Minister now, said it did not raise eyebrows to Gambians. I was surprised. Said at the Select Committee, one Security Select Committee at this Parliament, the reason actions were not taken on the cases that the PIU officers were seen jubilating for assaulting UDP, these things, or doing other crimes at the 2021 elections, and for not taking actions at the PIU that killed innocent civilians in Faraba, is because if they are disciplined, then the orders would not police officers, when needed, they will not act on orders. He's saying they're illegal orders. They will not act on orders. This is the reason they don't want a precedence. Now, we have seen all that evidence. The recruitment of these police officers. Most of them, we call them victims of this criminal regime. We knew it was for the suppression. We knew it's for the coming elections because they would steal the elections. And that's a discussion for another day. The suppressions, the reason, the factor, what we call the third-term factor, go and decide that any country, that developing country that have promised to run for 2 terms, you don't have to even have it in the constitution, just promise it. Or put it in the constitution and tamper with the constitution. You will always have people to come out. And the reason for that is, when you see developing countries, presidents stay longer or refuse to leave because what they have left behind. You know what Olaf said, that so sene maguto ngay xeñ xet bu bon xaaral ben jóg su jógee di nga gis lu mu fa def. In a nutshell, what is happening within this government would not be even known. As bad as we have seen, that's just a smell of the bad odor from what they have left us. We will not see, we will not exactly even know until these people get removed. Because they will be removed. I tell you that. I say that Barrow is not going to walk out of State House just because of he lost an election. Because he will make sure that election will not be announced that he lost. Until Gambians stand together to make sure there's a coalition, there are people willing to take to State House if he refuses to respect the results. Because when we remove him, we'll find out what this person is going to leave behind us. The amount of corruption. Just as Senegal is finding out now. The level. When Usman Sonko came out and talked about numbers, obviously, I understand some people say, no, this is crazy to talk about. Because nobody would imagine that human beings, citizens would do that. Take that amount of money. Now, not even the extended line of the cartel are taking that similar amount. People laundering the monies and orders. That drivers and everything are getting into the millions. This is the scenario we're going to find in the Gambia. They have demarcated and every land that is useful. Every project they've done is based on corruption. Any program they have is based on corruption. The budget is mainly meant for them to misuse. This is why the poverty and the frustration coming out from people. They recruited these police officers. They equipped and they continue to motivate officers with it. And this culture of loyalty had made so and ensured that police officers now are doing stuff. You know, in every society you have these cowards and these buffoons thinking that that's give them promotion. They are okay because of their level of decency, comprehension, and everything is low. How they gain something is to be recognized. And they're senior listening sitting there giving excuses. But it's a program. Now they brought in new, and most of these people are related to them, their extent of relatives, and so on. And so most of the other is just because of poverty. It's because of poverty they can't get any other job. If someone helped me to get this job, and seeing that if you do this, that's what happened. You think any of these junglers, Yaya Jammeh recruited, and you know there are layers of junglers. Layers of junglers. Not only those that kill, we should call junglers. Layers of junglers. Some of them are informers, some of them are dead because they know what they're doing. When they left their homes, they didn't go to say, I'm going to be a jungler. Nobody recruited them a recruitment for junglers. No, because they have certain defects in their brain, minds. I mean, people there are greed and every other thing. Yeah, know how to pick his candidates and created them. This is what these people are doing. They know that it's not every police officer will do certain things for you. But there are so many police officers that will do it because of poverty. Not because of who they are and the way they see poverty. If I work hard, and working hard is to follow illegal orders and do this. And some of them, in fact, it's not only illegal orders, for them, they are comprehensive. Because the way and manner they were trained. How they were inducted. Soldiers are inducted, so police officers are inducted. And in most cases, it's not balanced. You need a balance. Yes. You need to prepare people to obey orders, to be effective in operations and everything else. But in a democracy, you need to balance that. But many would not. They don't have the privilege to able to balance that. Because the courses are not meant to balance it. People from Turkey, you think Turkish train you, what are they going to train you? Have you seen Turkish, how they treat their people? Do you see them how they treat the courts and orders? These are the things we need to understand. That's why ultimately the question, the solution and answer is we need to change a government and be an effective government that will serve us democratically for the interest of the people. Now, they will crack down on the youth, they will do everything. But what about the big criminals? As I said in the beginning, go to mile 2. Remind me. Those who can pay for bribes, they are not at the reminder. It's only our youths for smoking, carrying a kilo of weed, and so on and so forth. And most of these youths need rehabilitation. They don't need to be criminalized. They will need to give several chances and get them out of it. The criminal justice system it should not be meant for criminalizing citizens, especially young people. It should be to deal with hardened criminals, and there should be an aspect of the criminal justice system that should be concentrating on rehabilitating youth or capturing it. And again, that's why there should be social programs that has to orientate these youths not to be victims of these crimes. We cannot fight crime physically. We have to fight crime, philosophically and strategically. Fight the causes of crime, the dropout school rates, and the lack of jobs, the allowing the criminal cartel to operate freely, bringing all sorts of amphetamines, synthetic drugs, and everything to be. Go to Senegambia. Go to, not even Senegambia no more. Go to certain areas in Birkama. Go to certain areas in Talinding. Go around Kairaba Avenue. Go around all the streets in Kotu. Go and see what's happened in most of these uncompleted buildings. Go around Amdalai and other border points, Basay, and see how much vehicles are coming with people from different countries. And most of them young people, be used for prostitution and other crimes. Do we do anything for this? No. Because of down the line, you find our police officers are running brothels. They are protecting brothels. That's why the culture of corruption, people will tell you, oh, the traffic, oh, this, but they are part of the criminal cartel right now. Because if the IGP, Ablai Sanyang, he was still connected to technically every cartel that runs in that country. And who makes sure that he gives his share to Barrow? He shares to Barrow and the NPP. Turn out to be NPP patrons. They sponsor AI companies, they sponsor youths, all those things from the proceeds of crime to maintain their positions, the loyalty to Barrow and their party to stay in power so that they can continue their criminality. The situation that developed from yesterday on, few days ago, I observed police officers in four-wheel drives. They mount on the vehicles, double cabin, I think, double cabin, and they are in the double cabin, and some would be mounted at the back of the carrier, and you see them speeding in communities. And where they found youths congregate, which they thought to say gangs. If you live in the West and understand the word gang and youths, but they start, this is what police do. They rush to these youths and start to cite them. And very, very forceful. And in most cases, the youths comply. They cite them and you see them start, putting them on handcuffs and throwing them. And if I say throwing them, we all saw on social media how they did to Aliuba. What they did to Aliuba. And we have not heard from the Commission of Human Rights yet. That was police brutality. It was not necessary. You already had control of this gentleman, place him where you want to place him. But if we can see that, what will happen to areas that we are not witnessing? When cameras are on them, they decided to do this. What about where cameras are not watching? But let me continue. What I saw is they put these people behind this thing and they start speeding off. First, policing is with consent. Effective policing is intelligence-led. This is why in many countries they develop community policing strategies. Community police, and you will hear them say that. You hear the Gambia people, oh, we are doing, it's a lie. I think most of them don't understand what community policing means. Community policing is intelligence-led. Let's give an example. Mandinari. If police intelligence visit Mandinari or monitor Mandinari, from their reports, they will develop. They will tell you where they think are likely things to happen, what things are likely to happen, all those areas. This police intelligence will be given to officers in charge of Mandinari area, the station. That station would invite community leaders and start to discuss these issues. That's why it's policy by consent. Discuss them because every parent will be supportive, because the parents don't want their children to end up to be drug dealers, or to drug addicts, or to be involved in crime. They don't want that. Then bring them on board. From that community engagement, operations can start. And because now the operation will be targeted. You will exactly know what sort of activity happens here, because your intelligence have given you that. Then you have an approach. You have an approach. You do your assessments. You know what likely this thing you have, and you have to try to be tacked as much as possible. Because you don't want to alienate these youths. They will be part of what helps you to fight the crimes. The intelligence-led will even lead you to have youths to volunteer information. Volunteer, not you forcing them or anything. They will come to the police because of the community, the approach that you have given them. You cite them. Yes, being possession of amount to smoke is a crime, but it's not a serious crime. These are the things you have to try to see ways to deal with them. Community policing, that's where you take it up. Some of these people can be referred to, counseling. These are all the things. That's why I said you need to, not only physical, you need to invest in social projects. You need to invest in social projects. Then there will be no violence in this. The known dealers would be approached in a different way to make sure that any avenue of escape or anything will be kept, and make sure they are arrested. And they lead you to who supplies them. Every local dealer has a supplier. But if you are letting the drug dealers, the importers and everything, walk out freely, do what they want, that thing will not be effective. It feeds from the top. It feeds from the top. If the supply chains are not being dismantled, what do you expect? You have community engagements. It helps. Then you have more intelligence. You deal with these things. You don't have this approach to be rushing, to be attacking youths, discriminating them. Not all the youths out there are criminals or they have committed a crime. You have not even suspect them of committing a crime. They just congregated. You're already profiling them as criminals. This is why you rushing onto them and you are making them angry and confrontational and dislike the police. And when people dislike the police will not be able to do their job. This is why I said the failure of the security sector reform, or none of it. Because it's a continuity. They want this terrorization or so on to go on. So that when it's necessary that people to rise up thinking that people will be scared. No, they are preparing the youths to ready to rise up. This is what they don't get. And no wannabe dictator gets this until it gets to them. It happened in Macky Sall, it happened with others. You are making them rehearsing them, we see what is happening right now. We are witnessing what is happening right now from one incident being mishandled. The other assessment, the vehicles they're using, in fact, they are not fit for purpose, to put any, even for themselves. Even for themselves, they are sitting on the largest of that carrier. With the speed they go, they can tumble over any time, and that's dead. Any responsible commander should not authorize that vehicle for anybody to sit there without the area being protected properly, so that when they sit, they are protected, they are secure. More so to put civilians in there. More so to put civilians in there. With that speed, if the driver stops certain violent way, likely to cause accidents. Lives can be lost. Limbs can be lost. It's not. Why not invest in proper policing vehicles? They're what we call custody vehicle. That we can put people in custody. Custody, if you need to arrest them, we support the police to be effective. What we don't support is the police brutalizing citizens, taking the laws into their own hands. There's a rule of law. Policing functions are defined in our laws. That's what we expect them to do. We are not against the police. But if the police are coming over and kill us for criminals, for this government, we will be against the police. Which we should not be. This is what we're talking about. This led to the killing of Omar Baji. And actually, we have seen some case of people being wounded, which should not have happened. One life is too many. One life is too many. And don't even measure it on your family, but just know that a life is sacred, especially for the people affected. And the community affected. The community came out because of a victim from them who have not committed a crime, have been killed, murdered, not alleged. Not alleged. In this case, the police came out lying. That's why I said not alleged. If you have nothing to fear, you have nothing to cover. Because they know they killed the young man. He was running, he fell down and died. From there, he died. Went into coma and died. They didn't graphically even say that. He fell down and died. What an unprofessional, criminal, and stupid thing to say. It's unprofessional, it's criminal. But it's even stupid to say. False announcement from police should be that an incident have happened of the nature and a victim from the public passed away. We are carrying out investigations. No, they lie straight away because of their guilt and their lack of professionalism. Now they turn around and say, yeah, we are going to investigate properly. How can we, who is going to do the investigation? The police investigate themselves? Or any of the security forces to investigate this? It's going to be a cover of a lie because they acted illegally, they acted criminally because of the political force behind them. Now any other force mandated to do this investigation will be doing it for what? Because of the politicians that they're doing the criminal act for them. What civil society? So far we believe the Human Rights Commission can investigate and determine the facts. We still have hope that the Human Rights Commission will not cover up for them. But for any other police to investigate themselves or their sister, institution to investigate them, it's going to be a cover-up. We should support the people of Mandinari, the people of Lamin. And before getting there, they started to arrest Gala people. And Gala have nothing to do with this. But they are preempting to arrest the Gala people for tomorrow. This thing will not continue. Just shows you their mindset. In fact, they are pouring fire, petrol into that fire. Aliuba has been arrested. For what? Have nothing to do with this demonstration. And Omar has been they are trying to side for other Gala leaders. What are they doing? Victimizing citizens for exercising their rights. As we said, the way they handle an Auditor General have proven that people will do anything, and especially when it comes to that their government would be removed by the ballot box. By the ballot box. The only time you have these people to restrain is when you stand up to them. And in Gambians, we should be ready to stand up for them, especially coming elections. Especially coming elections. It's a do or die for Barrow, because these elections guarantee his temporal freedom to continue. Because the minute he loses that election, Barrow would have to escape. If not, any competent government should put him under house arrest. And next minute to mile 2. And hence they have not reformed mile 2, put him in the worst dungeon. That's what they deserve. They are inhuman. They know what they inherited. And they don't care about people. Then they should go in there. Then from there on, the next government coming will make sure then they will build a better prison to rehabilitate Gambians and punish those who deserve to be punished. He knows that he will go broke because at entirety we take everything from him. We are not going to even spare to say that he have worked some. That's a lie. Because of the interest in court into all the money he steal or been bribed or anything else, we might not have access to that. He knows that. And that's, people around him know that as well. They are all opportunists. That's why they will do anything to stay in power. Omar need our prayers but need our support. The community in Mandinari, Lamin need our support. I heard that some of the youths they arrested yesterday or earlier from Mandinari have been freed. And they're calling that this escalation, but they are arresting new youths. All the people arrested in this camp should be released without any bail condition. They have not committed a crime. In fact, the police committed the crime. They aggravated the situation and killed someone. Killed Omar Baji. Omar Baji family should be supported. He's the eldest. Some said he's the main breadwinner, whether he had a job or not. But what we say, there's hope for him becoming, traditionally as Gambians or Africans, expecting that he would lead the family, help to support them financially on any of how. That's why we need justice to be served. Make sure Omar, those that committed this crime would to be stripped out of the uniform and prosecuted and put into cells, jails, if they are found guilty. And Omar family need to be compensated properly in order for them to be able to do this thing. And without this, if we compromise, if the community in Lamin of Mandan compromise, they are not doing justice for themselves. And we are not doing justice for them if we let this case slide. This is why I have to come off my bed to speak about this. And we'll continue to follow and talk about this. The targeting of Gala should not be ignored. Let us not be distracted. This is the entire thing is the same. It's about this police brutality. It's about injustice. And petition every institution that we need to petition. The Human Rights Commission, the EU, and every other organization now. We have to be very serious in targeting this and recording it. And we should keep all this in record. Another thing we should do is, any police officer we know or identify, we should expose them and keep them in records. We'll come after them. What I mean we'll come after them, we'll ensure that justice will prevail. Whenever we have the opportunity to do that. But again, I'm saying this, let us be very careful. All those senior police officers thinking that they can hide, those politicians thinking they can hide, or some of them are cowards, they will not say anything now, they will come out tomorrow to say that they're supporting the government, attacking the community, or the youth, or other people. Let them be careful. This is a warning. It's not a threat. Because I will not threaten something I will not act on. And I have no means on acting on these things. I'm saying, and these are based on analysis. We have seen it in Senegal. The more the police elevated or escalated their brutality, the more the youths rebelled. And to the point of they started targeting ministers' properties, compounds, families. Senior police officers' families, compounds. Political figures, families and compounds. Because the youths are learning, just as the Senegalese youths have learned from other areas. And they would escalate as they escalate in order to stop them, because the best form of defense would be to advance, to attack. Then we are warning these police officers who are selling these recruits, these PIUs officers down on the ground to brutalize our people. Let them stop. And those police officers being sent on the ground, let their families tell them to stop. Let them not be used. And again, what I'm saying here, I'm not only going to cite Senegal and other places. We all know what happened in Serekunda. When the black market youths, Usain Dabo was killed, or one of the Gambian youths from Sierra Leone. What happened? The commander that they were celebrating, who went through the TRRC, is no more. That's why I'm not going to call his name. But part of history, we have to say this. What happened to his compound? What could have happened to his family? And let nobody say, oh, Ben is trying to put this in the heads of the youth. No, they already know that. They already done that before. They've done that before. It's people are seeing, it's the digital age now. People are seeing what happened in other countries. And the community elders and leaders have to be. Make sure they stand with their people, not to undermine the community for their political affiliation or what they're going to get, or to try to protect their positions. We know that this government is brutal. They can withdraw their chieftaincy, they can withdraw their alcaloships and orders. Those should not matter. We have seen that happen before. On a final note, I think the politicians should say enough. They should say enough. If the police can go this brutal in communities, that's a percentage of these people might have even supported Barrow. What about when we are isolated in our groups of political parties? What do you think is going to happen to you? These are the things we need to think about. Let me say this. I am not a fan of coalition governments. I believe in the principles that people that have mandate to do, and we hold them accountable. Even what Donald Trump is doing, he got a mandate, it's up to Americans now to deal with him. In the United Kingdom, the same thing. But where you have coalition government, at times things can be very tricky. But in this situation we have to be very rational in approaching this. In other situations, the likeliness of a political party winning an election outright is evident. That's why they do it. Let me reference it. When Usman Sonko stood and said that days before the elections, after being released from prison, that let no group support us in the belief that they will be expecting something back. When Usman Sonko said that, many people don't understand it. Yeah, he was saying it for the opportunists. But Usman knew the people that supported them, they are not going into coalition, they didn't sign any coalition, but if you come to and support Jomai for presidents, they call themselves coalition, Jomai president, everything, it's not based on that you are going to be rewarded. Because he was trying to discourage opportunists. But something Sonko knew already, that people saying Jomai for Sonko have, whatever they're going to mobilize, those people are already going to vote for Sonko. Because in the history of politics in Africa, Pastef did something that have never been done. Effectively as a movement, effectively as a political party. They have a layers of leadership that all have performed their duties to the point of they rely on data to know the position of their party if they come to elections. That's why they were in for elections rather than to continue to try to depose the president. All the time when they come out, it's time to achieve something and go home and make sure they get to having a candidate for elections. They said 54%. We are going to win 54%. Because they did their homework. But not only them, the government themselves did a polling and realized that the chances of even Pastef winning greater if the two leaders are left in prison. This is one of the reasons, but not only the reason. There are other factors that the government have to take into consideration. If these leaders are kept in prison and they win elections while in prison, the government might not be able to control the outcome. This is about legitimacy coming, being these things. Because the process to release them or whatever can lead to something else. That's why Macky Sall drafted his exit strategy. The time they were still doing the procession to hand over, he walked away and took a flight and left. Just to control the outcome. And there were other factors that they considered. This is why they had the audacity to say that they don't need a coalition. But another day we'll discuss about this. But this is now, if any competent leader is there, or leaders are there, or any competent political parties who think are there, This is a warning for you. This is a warning for you. If we don't do the need to make sure we approach this coming elections, knowing the fear with Barrow and the cabal he has, what they had to lose, and prepare for that. If you believe, as a political entity, that you have what it takes to all to go to elections and you win and you walk into State House, welcome to it. Welcome to it. But, you know, politicians are selfish. I say this to you. If politicians all go into elections, you would expect that if the results comes out, they will support the result. I mean, the results that are competent, the right results. If they said APR, I'm trying to find so many parties. I don't want to call any political party. If they say a party A from the opposition, or everybody believes that party A from the opposition have won this election, but the government decided to use the IC and to rob the elections, you think party B, C, and D will come with party A to protect, to fight for them, or to fight for what is right, not for them, for what is right? No, it never happened in any country. They will stand back to say that if we fight, party A are going to benefit, and the reason we are even distrust, we never came together in the first place, is because we don't trust them. When they have power, in fact, they're going to use that power against us. Why should we put our bodies out there? But with party A, B, D, G, or whatever it is come together, and it is known that they have won an elections, party A, C, D, and D all will put their bodies, and they would demand so that their elections will be given to them. They will be given to them because they believe that we are going to form government, not party A, B, D, and C. We will all be out there. And simple. This is what happened in 2016. This is the reason Jammeh, considered the elections the day after, because he had the fear that if I refuse, immediately I will lose government, because these people will come out. And if they come out as a coalition of political parties, because civil society, everybody will be out there, I cannot sustain that. Then let me concede, and I will find a way to get escalate. That's what proceed. But again, in Senegal, Abdoulaye Wade would have never become a president if it is not for the Sopi coalition. Sopi. We all seen the previous election to the extent of the violence of killing the commissioner of elections, assassination and everything. The violence. They go for demonstration for 3 days, 4 days. Dakar in lockdown. Guess what? It will not be sustained. Within a week, we move on. With allegations, all of irregularities, Abdou Diouf will not bother. But finally, when the other leaders, political leaders, came together to support PDS, they call it coalition Sopi change, what happened? Abdou Diouf conceded. Abdoulaye Wade delayed to concede the elections. The second round, he delayed to concede it. The 4 chief of staffs of different services went to the interior minister to advise the interior minister to tell the president not to delay any longer. Because the consequences of this delay, they cannot handle it. Because what happened in the second round? because Macky Sall had a coalition with the rest of the political parties. Abdoulaye Wade would have to come out to concede defeat. These are written memoirs that people who were present, they have written it. Have to concede defeat. And we are seeing what's happening in the Gambia. I think that will be a lesson for us. Sorry guys, I cannot stay longer, but inshallah we're following the progress and we'll do our best to support the communities of Lamin, Mandinari. We'll continue to advocate for justice, release of all the youths involved, and for justice for Omar Baji and support his family. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Haidara, so he's a very a prominent person in Radha Majalis.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, some other people, Milaraja. Yeah, Ulanaraja, you know.
Okay. So, Mukula Bundaji, science and the Mia and all about this money issue.
Money issue. No, come, Kodoning, you know, the amount was sharing on a said button. But, Mimbi Wolong, Dala opinion of Munti Wolong, Kodoning family members will let them return the money.
Okay.
But according to some of the elders, because that's what they present.
Okay.
It's not like to bribe the family or to do whatever. So for Kebado not have nix more so which is quite right. So no they don't have any problem with the money. Mimbi ye wall on dollar demands for Interior Minister on the document at our office on Tuesday, and then Ratenaje Mimbi ye saying it's all about Ambilola, Minyaka, it's all about Tabilani Silola, you know, Purka justice in South. Actually, Intera Kodonina amount for Nilfo, Kodo Yadimunamala amount because Amaya elephant, Kodoni Busolo. Nobody knows how much is there, and it told me when I attend that they don't tell us the amount that is there. So you Kodoni deal at the Mari.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So understanding Jebanyani the mol be jealous still or mol basek and the minister will finance it about payment say.
No, molta beta ebara camera lo molta. So understanding sabo musolmi na sang beotore golle biji aning kewdol min baloring still you know bo mo jamal dispass.
Okay. Thanks man Hazard.
Make a press release telling the entire country that these personnel who has been involved in Omar's murder, they are all suspended. Let them write that press release. Yes. And secondly, we are going to need an independent autopsy report. We already have people who are contacting me since yesterday from America who wants to pay, you know, people who are like responsible for that. An independent autopsy report, that's what we want. And the third point is the family is going to sue the government for this tragedy. The family has already agreed to that, and we already have lawyers who are ready to defend the family on this issue. So we are not going to compromise this case. It is not going to be like the other cases. Like I said earlier, it happened in so many places in this country. They set up a commission to look into the matter. What comes out of it? Nothing. Absolutely. So we don't want Gambians to be dying in police custody. That's not the reason they wore that uniform. That's not the reason we are paying them our tax and money. So basically, we have an agreement with the minister. On Tuesday, we're going to be in his office and we are going to give him our demands. We will formally write. I'll even call it a petition. It is going to be in a petition form. And a time frame will be given to them for them to act on those points. Yes, as of now, that is our stand.
Thank you very much. We've just seen, okay, I'll put it this way. You are the coordinator of the protesters.
Yes.
We've seen how brutal it was yesterday and how hectic it was for the youths and the community at large, and even those that we are not even concerned. So what message will you have for the youths, you know, in controlling their anger? For as long as justice is concerned, it's justice that we need. In for accountability purpose, what do you have to tell the youth?
Yes, since yesterday, that has been my number one priority, to try to convince them to control their anger. Because anger is something, when it reaches certain level, for you to bring it down, you need a strong leadership. You need somebody who can speak and the youths will listen. Alhamdulillah, I was able to talk to them yesterday. Almost 80% of them listened to me. And right now, as you can see, They wanted to attack these people. Some of them, that's the mindset they are. Because they are angry. I'm not going to blame them for that. You know? They wanted to like spoil their vehicles, tires, stuff like that. I have to stop them from doing that because that will not help. That will not help. I told them that these people, I don't want them to go with your partner. So basically now all the youths are calm. So they left everything to us and we will do our best to make sure that all the youths are happy.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure having you. Thank you. That was
Mr. Johnson, please.
But also, come here for me, so I don't have much to say. But the only thing to some phone all like, justice here time on do caring only, because we don't want these things to be keeping repeating. I don't know how to call it. Farabale, nothing comes out of it. Is it Kanila?
Yeah.
Nothing come out of it. So it's like becoming a norm in our country. We don't want those things to happen in our country.
Exactly.
But police has no right to even you don't have any right to do that.
Yeah.
If you want to just arrest the person and
killing. Hold on.
Life and property.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. You'll almost more saving, but just a little boy, you cannot even handle that person.
Exactly.
But more handle but you don't need to beat them.
Yeah.
And then they started they telling all lies, telling us that okay boy la fata. Mommy ba heltering ko boy ba nyami.
Yeah. Boy strong battle.
Start just maybe few months. No push at a boy on nyama fa. So ka cannot mean boy yo push I boy I fa. That's all lies, all crap. We only need justice. We don't need their sympathy. We don't want this thing keeping repeating all over and over. We don't want that.
Yeah.
Jamba.
Yeah, Alaji. Yeah, go ni incident on yinka, mobile feel pain na. Yinka isa for nyawo nyama na me. So yinka mobile can fight, They are in the family, they will take me,
I know.
I will be untable lead Lanyatol, because Montata coma. So, Sabanyami tenting, Yeah, so if you call said Jamula for Jandi water Jamano, stress of the mal carrying. So, but the other side, if you don't bring for Gangalua, Matani Lua, they feel for combining, Jamul Kerajele. So, under opinion of Bidak and Dami, Galco for Sadamu go fair and Jabang, comment section about Safar coming. If you don't mind a colony muda, so Yala Banyamin, Honey Sadamu going penal, Yadi Gala, Guy Governor Badi, victim in a family. Exactly. Victim of family, and a college in Ghana, Libacodoni, because Yellow life guy, Huntington, life guy in Omi, so sign family conditional because more become more new in journal.
Exactly.
So Niba Sadamu go for now. So family Niba Tala, so Wasalam Nita Tala Fana, yes. But coming if you don't take on Tanola, Sandy Gala, among family and Yinka, and conditional and Yani.
Understand because
family Yadi if you join the latter about Tala. At a coming family because family Momal and Yadino, so as a guy in Kano, Foko Salamu in the about Tala for Tala. Yeah, because more become more new journal, more feeling pain in it. Especially near Bamana farmer family, understanding. So, comment section of job after Kodo Kana, they can affect. Yes, opinion on Kofo. But yeah, Sabanyami, victim in a family, because coming back for Komakino Foka, more because you Fengano. So now a guy in Ga, Fokodo Ning, about Talabang, for Nico Hanifana, no problem. He can take the money back. Understand, but after decision we tell no found one yama coming to hand over.
Exactly.
I understand that. I reject Nola. I understand. Color is nothing. Color is something is nothing for now. I understand. But Abanyaton Kaya in the Kekam. I understand. So conversation they are talking on their anger. The very folk are home to Yalde, but coming out of Kodo Tano of an Atapala Bol and Yato. Understand me. So family status me mother Banyadi, no, because you breadwinner mother family because about folk and Yami, Mala Dumo and Mala Muna Kodo. Understand me. You don't mean you go and the family for sake of Mala Dumo. Understand me. So near mobile touch, So you can, conversation or more money opinion or basa banyami if you don't say galin contact family banyadi le ninga tra ko ni basenga but ndega mi le ko ni moma ko ko coming justice ning justice for Omar Kumada ko mi feel no chicken change no it will not more than 100,000 at asila is less than I mean 3 days do ko wo is nothing you understand it. Yeah. So ninka ni kumata justice for Omar Kumata,
Yeah.
So wala kumata da. So mo ko si fa ni emphasize.
Yeah.
Thank
you. Baraka baka jamba. I will try by all means any details na ba kala yung ko romba trele by all means sa manang jang inshallah mo be benefit ye.
Yeah, wala because
ngol mandara so kono sentending so fanan seri na keno na platform use ko mo fa na yalo member caring
No, I mean that is the only thing can our life can because told be mental guarantee. Told be you are and told be touch na understanding. Told be new guarantee like mean yalo na you mun family that told monta to koma
exactly
you have to lead. Told be with our front line can no matter how me make a life is only once you understand but tonya ka me liba tonya ni right fight for example tonya no so gal police ole ma bengi understand so abige nyama ibrahim Umar mota wuli no la gal ni ko kele no ya fa so sa banya ni ponse ta ni juso la nga nyabu family fana ye juso ni nyabu ngata ni luwa la by ni justice so ta fana wol kumata
tonya
exactly.
Abarka baka.
Yes, man.
Abarka baka. Yeah. Ma jamal fane dia mo soro, jamal fane ko mo soro la.
Yeah, and we janga few words was left for me for like.
Okay.
And then I feel like couldn't him die manya accept like because be Gambia government lo na ngalo ne ka cool sambanya me understand. That's how I feel like manya na kodo inta. Ya tara midala fang ya go phone yala miyalong ko nga kodol ki miyalong ko nga sa mga di Umar family ko.
Go phone fang ko nyimbi yun. Inshallah go phone na pala jana inshallah.
Yeah, I try you say avang is better. Then I feel like kodo niya manya na ka accept because be Gambia system mo lo na ya ko ba gele brother boy. De gele mo na concern bi kodo nyi muda gal ba jala ko okay ba sa kodo muda ibina ko de kodo fana tous na pour ka gal system pour ka case ni pour ka affaire. Ya understand bo jama na Gambia brother. Imo kende jama
Let me make that part clear. Comme Kodoni, among the common John from the Kodum, Raymond Kododi to John exactly. The Kododi Kebala, so Kebala and John Kolinkin for an Yaron code. A boy from the Kodohan over to John. You understand? So from here, John from Bakodo Gala family. Nia accept, fine. Nima accept anything about this issue back by all means. Inshallah, I'll do my best.
It's a fun going say, go for
go for going battle and share, inshallah, maybe my next night.
All right, thank you, bro.
Yes, abarka.
All right.
Assalamu
alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes. Okay.
After coming at there, right? Coming ko aniko ya waratale, I understand. Especially the youth population, yeah. I can't be ni ko yaldi. You understand?
Yeah.
So but remember the kodo ni fan the mass support galia come accept mass support. You understand?
Yeah.
Because Nick of Sadalo abuka sendi.
Yeah, Sadalo.
That's fine. Ha galia wole fok Sadalo abuka sendi, yeah? Okay, ni Sada abuka sendi, but say ni sendi fana. Because I'm get Sada from all sources is a accept.
Yeah, sure.
You understand? Because ni ya tirimbali ale afa.
Madam.
Yeah. No, it's all. It's finished. How you can happy. Okay. So and then I talk about new mean for the whole go. About more new fungo understanding the kodo la koto and the kodo talam yanta kodo da. Ndi am momo ndal mil bota mandina mil buluta mandina nga John Lonen and the morning John Sijal. So momo be diamula yalon nako ma for mil yalon ko wol mambo mandina bal mil bota mandina John Long. Mobile John is for a straightforward type. Anu fanang tonyalom kod omol ni neta ka Gambia ni sifa ka ni ko do usere ka molla miro fale ka molla speed fale so kodo ni tonyalom nda fanang ma a support pour kodo ni ta but John would lato na kebale kodo diatel so but abeti keno after I buy funding girl me am ke kero ke kan ila broda ila sate di ñoy ko ima accept hani bi John ay kodo murundi al falkan ay foy ko tellement sur ko dila ñu ko del justice lafta na moy wala left of justice left of justice because ngalon na nin chifa jama la ka ni ko do na ti doron ikamol weekly
guys mbal beta la kilin
andu momo ni Omar Long Omar Fama lon te nga mala lon hanin na nin silo damma mbasta kataka mo be ango nil ka balu tarol la imam cancer anu an Fama aka dogo ka symbol so mo si fa min bo le operation kana o fa another be 1 million yola say now o sneaks because iba do mala le yapa more de moto Jose ndi no la baji kundan ko because mota tata
tonya
but ifana million butari ke kamora mo fai fana tai bu kaso
dirty flower yesterday.
Yeta ifana ta kaso to ya nene Omar la mol fo la nyame ifana na mol ye foi la wonya but ni ko do nyinta amina mol bulo sandila anu John daman John blem ko nte John lonne ando ngalo nako molo mi alon ko ala kan mo man John yam because molo mi alon ko ayala kan no ala malafia batin but mol kana blem baje kana comment section both Facebook and yinta ibavo kan is not honest anenda ko anu fana bira ko amon ko do amount lo yes ke balle ko do jiga ya dia da because talbe dinno ngada ko do muta ba na ga mon ko do amount lo mota forta anu ko do buso ko na bolto antel asemi moyno ay tay ko do mun ke bal kan ay antel ni la ko tel dino ni sawo atel lo mun na ke bade baral ko do tale te ko monde lo fa choose the delegation o min bitala ni ko do ita ya fo ko sate dingol ko imal la ko do la fa justice jeli la moy wada may wasal so that's all ndafa nan lafta ko la fo na
okay guys can I come in
sorry sister Nyoso okay
instead of Lamin, like when I was 7 and the life take Lamin anyway from bottom this police brutality time it has to stop. It has been going for so long.
Thank you.
Lamin dindingol, Lamin nem mandina di ning darang ka dindingol, ibu kan tol mau nyam. Ni tol mam de funti bal. Ntol ka sila funti. Exactly. Dalam cold tol ni tol mayo mo foul fi sada ko yen tol fa. So it doesn't make sense. The excuse of mundi fa man sense le make. Because of more ita kita fala ko ika mo bendi la ya bendi aboy ta fata. Are we kids?
Was good. Yeah.
So ale wo be man betia wol wulta e be match pass ke ko katale pulie la boy so release e la so tele puto woke ba ale stop NTC ale ntol ba mal be stealing la menje ale ga so be bundla be ko wol man ken there so ale wo problem ale expect ko la men boy so te funtule ale funte la sate kono o man sense me because ya la so ko ya jele ko ntol we will it le batata at the end because so it's like it's not even among sense le make for nyim ko ko fam ko do man na kama the moment they took this money everything is gone
Definitely
everything is under the carpet iba kala wala nyama so ko do man na kama ko do nyanta kalandilo for Tuesday and for Monday
exactly Tuesday you're speaking my mind Tuesday ni kata ko do samba
ko do nyim fala ale na family member mun fa wala fi sada ko do nyinti exactly ala la ko do muta so ntol mun gana important wala Omar de justice soto
justice so that's all
Omar la amadi ya solon chabo e fai ba ko ntol la hadi because of Nima nin sort out saying this is not gonna solve anything.
It's not gonna stop and this is been going so many places my sister and you gonna for piran number something like o sateto min kada je 4 boys father sate min do this is empty you like 1 million do we come by investigate la up to now it's under the carpet.
But sister, Pira manke lamenti. Pira manke exactly. Pira manke dala ntola boy so nyale mata.
Yeah.
They're very good, they're very kind, they're good people. But you don't play with us. When it comes to us, you just leave us alone. Don't become more
Ma ko kuno fo yo example of fonje kunu.
Yeah, jale. Because
for that being for the mommy example to Mandira Lamin those places are no go area for this brutality.
Exactly. Because of Yajala can believe for boys of Lamin. If that Tia gas or fire boys Lamin boys of Fana Wulta, go water Kalaja. Can you
Gambe the mommy from Kada you Kamanya dealer, my sister and tell baby I out here I do what name one layer right so the one layer and you to one like a Joe Soteti. But look, you can police on ya nonsense over as far as Imama at a Tenkelera. You must so on your Banda ko di be fo la process de katia ga su fay mol la sol kono. Mol del fo la so kono ikon na illo fa ba ke ni no fon. Ah, okay, baba mi
al nga nyoso way nga nyoso clean
guys insa di amo lo sorry na after nga isa sono do one
Bringing tear gas ko wulta. Nta mama be story manole ka. Nta kijo nta ninki fado le be stealing because I don't know most to know more man.
Tiaga to do
what are do ko wala. So nta be stealing man ta Gambia be stealing out kono. Nta be mira ka mbama. Ni tear gas o dun tan to la so kono be wala nta bama e banda because nta bama man kende. Oh, make it make sense. You can't be just throwing tear gas like the moment you are paper so le kaito. They are marching peacefully. Naka ko yako ko gale buro le sika o yefen na sika fang. They say they are retaliating. But it doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
They know. But this is bullshit, man. Yeah, try le but Lamin ning mandina de what we call the last about it can turn man about it.
Fancy abaraka bag. Yemi for Tonyalom, yeah.
Fancy abaraka
this police this police ndanga min believe yemi long. Wolong tear gas and brutality come kamol tilimbalia. I need to use the tear gas on the people. You understand? It all ngaje ko it all because yesterday I was one of the victims. Yeah, man joined protest gulato do, but ndara ka two sali because ndaba kunsuwa kono after two sira ndafa mamalo muneba keri after being two sira mfundira ka two sali because misro referendum manoba. You understand? So ndara nga two sali from there ngombatu na bola support because aba beside manoba la ka ngombatu nga Brighton ni Chelsea la game ojibi. I was there. Okay, mari bomuti le batambika motor batambika akonye no mandira ako almost 500 more multambira
Omar
towards the area yeah ngai ya akonye ha okay masiri mbamayo jibe kan naraka noise je group of people they were coming from NTC towards Mandinari yar fa ni parallel but believe you so tambira already parallel ni kafo fana nar but the way those wo parallel but behave kan no come on the way they are using the tear gas. Tear gas so ya faila anaran to loss support of adunda support. Bila basis ira mo be ni boro.
Ani bala la len so demandina salamu alaikum be kontan.
Salon no gondol balaji sister fula muri alanko wo sister wo be boy tale.
Tambadu do bonin to ko badu
kan. Meta nara mo ne ko ngawor so. Do bi jata fala ni gio stop ta. So ndelo move kata nyato tear gas ni binaka ko this is not the solution but ngamburu nganno muta wala nyam nara towards the tear gas tambita tear gas wala sa ndol ningi para grupo je do ko tambi ndambita wala ngai but bro ala take it easy because ya jaran tol bo support jam para tear gas ala alba feka it's too much anu fanan ali keku okay akonya tambi noni woko hey what are you saying come here madam kundara fo support on lote ana ran no ma fojo parani okay mbami foke mi hapunta tera mole explain kay kunu so anata fombala man di ankai ngani na fo ala take it easy because imagine tear gas alba fake ya support jamu support mo be bor and it's not safe most in an even sunya jeta and no secondly we calculate that people are not healthy don't forget most of the people are asthmatic this is all mamberia because they for one personal ngata mfana ndeba healthy rina but tear gas wa weekly because ni abe wulera instant ni yo koleara so bring over after another yala muniki abulu fulo I always use abulu fulo ntulo wala pump one time I repeat malori nyato I respect uniform or bala my rights to kama my rights but woman no nindo no worker kan so budi
afala my rights
minna taka happen moto na bring ala incoming kana okay hey stop it naja I moved and just smiled and yelled at no. This is quite unfortunate. These people, they are not trained professionally. About uniform, but they don't know why they are on that uniform. And min nataka kefana nataka boydo sute bring paral parete bi move ka na boydo sute je mi yalonko woman da school for so wala phone carton grade 9 moment ata mala grade 9 complete. That's unfortunate.
Woman
da school. You see, all this is happening.
Timeless settler. Ning company be for and bembella la jane. Timeless settler. You want to show
It's okay. So 1 minute. 1 minute. So all this is happening. So like dolba me for like pollution, elaning tear gas use and elaning brutality. They have to stop. Pollution man na mo only. Jam pollution you man patient so number 1. As a officer, patient. Ina ka wala so. Me man patient so man bank of no time. You are there to secure them. Don't harm them. But it police jang hani because most of balan no ibu. As I no for here.
Okay.
Kana yene. Nice way ya sama. But kana liba ayene ya to lobum.
Guys, let's tap the screen then like.
Yeah, understand guys. Kunong ahapundare. Na boy do London boy olon fana. Abota tata jame okon. Itata ya no mafoji. Jame ba kikle ba dam fu mo ba diamu ga video about video. I saw it on the video. Yeah, ba dam fu le ba kikla. Ika faka fa limbala kana samba abo kuntula banko. That is not nice.
No man nice.
Government mo beje kay bo video de kam. Video do ba circulate kam yalo. Police yamo arrest already. It's on handcuff. Alba sambaka towards your car. The incoming officer anata ka stamp. Ngamone almost moja male woyi. Incoming officer anata wrong aya stamp. Why it's not nice? Guy police or IGP nyana ko video brigaje immediately nyana ka final. Which officer did that? Yalu atandi fanana. Luwa mo man tabi luwa. Come on. Mo tije min tambira luwa.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, my question is coming. Ikafo ko yun suspended. That's not enough for me. Yeah, arrest lebam because you been nunara yung interior minister ninying almamul menunata. It will come for wale ikafo ye suspended, but wo is not enough for arrest lebam because by now jan little ba plan yung suspended. Maintain left ka memo olam nyindiko. These people have been already arrested. Ibe mile tule. They are waiting for the justice. Sa iba fla mo le muna ko ye will suspend. Suspend for what?
Yeah,
move forward deliberately. I move forward. You find me painful.
On Tuesday,
but we should go small people neighbors for Tuesday. That should be written on the headline. Katandiko, Monyaranko, they are involved. They all have been arrested. They are waiting in jail.
Yeah.
For one day, that should be written on headline. Woman na mabola fam because ning yafanya mente mambo mantina rinde. But I said it tears kuno. Biringa nyina sister jibe. It's very painful yafanya me. It's very painful. It's unacceptable. Amanya na kela. You understand? So by now, mbiri wokeda inara muna fam follow. Yana muna fam jana interior minister. Police commissioner, why would they jump onto conclusion instead of yela finding ke? Ikata eka save molieko, come and konyimbo nyinga jolanta na moto center. What a disrespect is that? Ite as a police may experience from also. Ite man you come forte by information, you don't do your finding. Ikana alo molieko save moli. What a disrespect. I just want to know for you arrest lebam because kafoko yes suspend why is not enough.
Abakwela on Tuesday, inshallah. Anything I can get.
Abakwela, inshallah.
1 minute.
Abarkabak.
Yeah, I think Nimbare, no, I'm all very no.
Inimbar.
Yeah, I think how to go. Sorry, Manina Ringgold, yeah?
Yeah, I'm more Manina. Everything is from Manina. I'm from Borol.
Bro.
Bonus in Lamin,
This is not about Mandarin or Gambia. This is about Gambian thing. You understand?
No, Gambian thing because so communication is very important.
Group chat.
You understand? Because standing, you understand. It's more than 2 good hours. Many life only give more than 2 hours. You understand? So, but Gala for going somebody, I'm not at all over Yombala. You understand? So, we are going to get the possibility. You told the president, I let Diama and imparting on Yadiamu Yakodoni Yamurundi. You understand? We don't need the money. I don't know what among Kodoni receive directly. Alpha Diala, but still Alpha we can talk to him. Burundi Alpha killing can cut and Kodoni, we don't need it. What we need is the justice because the money got Diamutai. There are less than 6 months. There are gas or Dunda system of Kunu. Yana, more Jamal Dundan problem of economy and cannot victim of it. You understand? Because of parallel stupidity. You understand? so wala nyanta ka stop ya wala nyanta ka stop so ndol Gambia am demu clean up nyanta ka nyimutale no ya understand ka bona mandina lan kata fo banyun kata fo min do be nyanta ka mutala ke clean di I stop ya understand Gambia no niya clean ma ya Gambia no bele ma
thank you
nyanta ka tara lori wo ya understand because kunun ya gibe sanse ande problem wala situation ba nyama tande ala le bulo be nyama start dame ani sante ma tambita wala le baake fam
you are right
understand the victim mun ka konte every day aka include la understand so ko bani ya murundi we need justice ani amanka ko mi mul fo ngadi no ko fata man but interior minister ne daga paral mu yalla ko sorry system ngana paral mu yalla ne ko tata demonstration ni ko nyanta ke follow up le ya mulu lonje ye be samba kiti la because kita ti aga so boy no la mol ko wonyama no joram mantara mo bul sa mantare bulu dia just on peaceful demonstration e kana ta bala fingo tamandi kan e ka kulubali yake ko de la kulubali yake ko de la tamu gambe na monta no nyama ngana je ngana nyo wul dingo para wada mo no because our painful talaman our painful talaman le pindikela na ko Gambia no ni mo voice Gambia no imam voice to la banko ka in Gambia be diam la banku jumal to la banko ka ni ma fete ro de ka diam be banku iba diam la banku jumal to tan de ma do forenal la mundi wandi banko kan sai ko mu kam ni ran ka diam wandi banko kan na banko kan right ro do sa diam no wo ya la tan ko diam mo ni ko bo kala fa no o problem mo ta nyanta ka dami so we are going to get the possibility and we are going to get the link to the youth president. I am delegation of Minister on Tuesday. You understand? Let them take the money back. You understand? What we want to hear is that police will be back on court and after what they are going to sentence them that is in my to my brother. And then the money and for demonstration protest attack. Paral fana tamo pen suute to ja be nyanta ka kitinde because they mo jamala right violate kunu inside Lamin kono because don Lamin mandina rin kombo kerwan daran kay no these people are all one mandina rin sabe ko non tala sister sabala ka putuje na sister do be ja dingo be jele ya mutale ya arrest aman tank just aba boka nga la smola kono kata bato demo la woni ni ko be keri ya arrest na sister do kono be je na sister do kono be
what do you okay,
exactly. I will do that.
Yeah, man, please. It will be very appreciated. Thank you so much.
You know?
Yeah.
Ntano fat bintu maybe yellow ne for diga bintu baji ka Omar mundo already so ni na family diam tala coming ni kodo fe na kana kodo muta you know ni diam tale mu me chaw so kono ni diam tala because abaraka bake nan life jube ila fenkort
okay
so madame family 3 days moment domoroken ni yor be yaring
sorry
nga fele mume afama famia uluna diam talenka ko ni ko do fena mo kana muta ni one thing ni family be janjanal because nying admin tale yen do ma muta ya kere fa wonyo it's very painful lafta justice la foko pare lafta kalom police jimale Omar fa ning justice naman tama benjo ila family kan benjola le by force load ndol kambental ndol mantara Gambia be Europe la so ñu ko I oh my god sorry
ongol
Mimbi someone please speak back one please
3 days kale mando morokeno
sabari
mando morokeno mi enta dimi na la family diam tala na fama diam tala na fama diam tala kay ko ni ko do fe na kana muta because ya jele police ole fanga ya fon police ole fanga ko itoli order ta santole pour te gaso fay so munan na itoli bula fay dunta sa ko dota
exactly assalamu alaikum guys ya Ibrahim nyari kan alba nyari alba fay ko nga mo be kontam you know ya alka bi mata you are alka kuma kende bala fo jang, you know, I understand. Gambian to be Gambian, to be money and college, you know. So, coming at money, you know, our among this go to me along go, you know, you molly, Timbali, I understand. Timbali alam, Taula Yaman Tambina. You know, so in Koduani, you know, and the fan opinion no moldy, and the fan opinion, Koduani, you know, Kodoni cannot accept. Yeah, understand because Kodoni near accept, you know, always in Timbala Sival Batula, you know, but you know, Ningake, you know, Kodol Bimba, Kodol Tamande, Koditia, Jaimol, can you understand? You want Timbaliality.
Yeah.
Timbaliam Tambina, so Manan call Madame Tonga Lord, Koduani, you know, Kodoni Yatra, you know, Kodoni Amurun back. Yeah, Ming solution to you know, because Nike Kodoni accept, you know, always have to repeat, always, you know.
Maybe he have some.
Yeah. Uta sort of like me along our
send me back request.
Uta me along our Yamokona. Yeah, understand. So and then idea support back at Kodoni, you know, and after Murundi, Yamurundi back, you know. Yeah. So was Gambian in Gambia government Kaimum Nafatela J. Nafatela J. Timbala, but Timbalaka Mola, you know, Mola family BJ, where Tea Gazul Tindla Mola family Kang, you know. So, yeah, no one nice among to me along correct.
Yeah.
Timbali Alamindi.
Definitely. No chance to do for a day, no. Kejang Abarka back, no.
Yeah,
I'm cool in there.
Thanks a lot. Okay.
Maybe yeah. Saya no right time di program yang alon nyukam bengang paral kele bag. Ni yang kele ngekele. Ni yang mo kilim fa, ni yang mo kilim fa. Boy, let's Senegal al nga Senegal juga. Senegal kilim baso before Sonko wale si. Ya para aja lefa. Ya no ni para dia Muhammad ni control banyami. Ni yang mo fa, ni yang mo fa. Boy no kada kilim fule be mo lo na boy. Ni para dia le dogo ke for government le man kara pour banko eje. So ni ngo understand man be against la ni fight back. Ni o ke kilim fula be Kenya lo na bo udam malon solution ro ko kono bo ndanga je wolna Gambia ngaka kilim ti boy this one man ngena din ko ni Gambia ko wolna ngala nyoka ngaka ke boy that's the only thing dengo le jena solution ro design boy billahi mo testare bro you know
you are right
as stressful tala you know wala bije
mo be ko do duala mo be tere
barka ba ke
thanks you know
tarano farabala nga farabala issue ni nga witness nyalal me yalo ka keda farba issue bari sabata da farba nganda dindiya bege farba
someone please bring back van here
ñing ko la ñing e kamulun ne mankiri farbata ni faradal de man bod membe kerun ko ñing kono wala ko ndela ndela diamo bita men kam sadam ko ndela haji ko e ko ñim do sama rom sadam ko de bod sama kata damento sinin di ñande dala ministre meya bita kan damento be lora damento be men safre ñanta la baso do ko ko ñi witin des nga ko e kamenke e kamay use Gambia no ka e kamay use ka wala ko doti itarle ya kodo ñun dundije bari mi lekata ye ko ñun sambale farba commission be lotal farba commission fo lotal mi aji be commission mu me yollo ni o kam bodi ko ko ke ñamen e ka ko leti ni ñamen e ka ko plus na be ka leti ni ñamen ko ñin ka fa wala ñamen ka ko fa wala ñama do manin so su manke ko mandina issue la ñi non ñi mo Gambia issue la ñi right no Gambia bi on la issue la ni da ren karfulo ko jibi Gambia bi mo yalo ko parce que ndaye police le limbali amen ke la ñu karfulo ko asiatal de ñu karfulo ko ka limbali amen ke ko banko do la asiatal so ñu mo ko muna ci la may ko please ñi mo Gambia banko be la issue ñi issue ko mata bakel bari bir farba ta kara jang Gambia no be lo tala bar me ya ko ñi ko ya masa kunda ka mele use e ka ko ñi mo de ka letinde so ndo me fo ka yu so la ñaton ko ñi John Sama yo itandara ninabe interview la watu yaso live jan nde fa kala dambe join na je
ya batre la ngafi nan jansa
nyanda understand back le ka ko letindil gambe government ko le gambe ke ko ko ni kam me nyame nambe de nyame kana mele use kana ko do le use al kan farba ko ta men kera farba e ka fa ko 1 million yol di mo la family mo ndela ba fula la ja taliye ni mol ni ka fo faraba family mol ko do ni so ba fo ma so hande fo bi ni family men ni ka fo le ko dol man na 1 million so bulo ko e ka mol ne alal e ka ne la ke so ko do ni le bare ba kana sen gari ko men fo no mo le wolon ko mel be Gambia bu rasul mel be je ya tray ni ko ni kana le bi mangi mandina redda mala issue ni mu Gambia be issue Gambia di ngole fata ni Gambia di ngilim fata o di Gambia di ngole fata amanga ko bangu do la di fara do gambe non le ben wata do bele sai dem be do ni gambe masakunda man sula gambe diungul la ni gara gambe masakunda jibe ni masakunda men sida bi do sida 2017 min right now
ni sa like ni say no to ban
gambe bango ka gambe bango diungul la ka fa fa la amanga ko